I'm really big into tax sales lately, and then doing liens and deeds. And a lot of what I find is when you take something over, people are not paying the taxes. There's usually a lot of other bills and things they aren't paying. And then usually when you buy things through an auction, you're doing it with some variation of a quick claim deed, whether you're getting a constable's deed, a sheriff's deed, a commissioner's deed, whatever. But generally, it's not a warranty deed, and now you have all these things that you have to address before you go and now get a warranty deed, so you can sell to somebody who's going to get a loan. So on your side of it now, if somebody goes, "Oh, Al, I bought this at a tax sale. I need a signature," and now you find out that person is dead, in jail, got abducted by aliens, they're in witness protection, can't get the signature, and now you can't actually clear the title. Now we have to go down the quiet title route. So talk a little bit about, like, what does that whole thing look like? Why is that necessary? And is that a big thing that you're dealing with in probate, that if you can't find somebody to get a physical signature from to clear the title, is quiet title kind of the next step for that?
Yeah, I mean, so big picture, in Florida, the way that the tax deed sales and tax certificates, the way that they work is a little different. A crash course. Somebody doesn't pay their taxes. At a certain point, the county's going to put it up for everybody to bid on the taxes and the interest, and then there'll be a tax certificate. Year 2, if the taxes aren't paid, same thing, tax certificate. After year 3, the first tax certificate holder can then push it to a tax deed auction, and then everybody in the world can bid on it. If the taxes still aren't paid or redeemed, eventually somebody buys the tax deed. Now, if you own the tax deed and you actually get it, you have 2 choices. You either sit on it and hold it for 4 years, because that's the statute of limitations, or we take it to the next step of a quiet title, right? So the quiet title, it's just a full lawsuit used to clear off the title, clean the title, wipe off anybody that's got an interest that may have maybe an estate, maybe an individual, maybe a corporation or somebody on the title, to eventually get a court order that says final judgment is entered in Nick LLC, right? That. So that's usually what we're doing. And those things can take 6 months, 12 months. They're really long. They're full lawsuits, but it's all due diligence lawsuits, really. It's like a due diligence lawsuit. It's really what it is. But to answer your question on is it an alternative to a probate issue if probate's not solvable? It's a great question. We have a case where really nice piece of land, and the guy bought it from this guy. Guy bought it from this guy, and they did the transaction, warranty deed, closed, or I don't know if it was closed, but definitely was a warranty deed. Well, the guy then tried to sell the property to another developer, and the title company came back and said, no, that guy you bought it from, that one that you paid off, he actually was only one of the owners. He actually didn't own it. There's all these other people. And he was like, what do you mean? What did we find out? Come to find out that there was like two estates, multiple other people. And so in a regular transaction, if you brought that to me, Nick, I'd be like, hey, let's do the probate. Let's get it done. But nobody knows the family. Nobody has any idea who's doing what, and nobody wants to cooperate. So the only other option, because it's land, it's a little different for this, but because it's land, is we can quiet the title. So we're just going to sue all these other people because the guy that's our client is a bona fide purchaser for value. He got a deed, he bought a deed, and that's it. So it's really interesting. I always find quiet title to be kind of interesting. Like another one we've seen is a divorce judgment. Husband and wife get divorced. The wife gave it all to the husband. And in the divorce decree, she was supposed to deed over the interest. And there was nothing in the deed that said that after a certain period of time, it's treated as a conveyance or transfer. So it said nothing, but it was a divorce decree. He was awarded the property. And it's so interesting. It's like, can we use quiet title to basically say he owns the title, sue her, she doesn't come back and respond? At the end of the day, Nick, the answer is it all comes down to underwriting. Will title insurance at the end of the day issue a policy if this procedure is done to get it all the way through to the finish line? And it's always fascinating, but with quiet titles, they take a long time and they cost money. It is expensive to get into them. So again, time plus money equals, are you making any money on the deal still? If not, it doesn't make sense.